Morning, hope you're well. I'm just sitting on a bench in Glastonbury Abbey this morning, looking at the weeping willow and the mostly blue sky. But above me I can see there's a trail, a chemtrail. And a friend of mine who lives at a slightly elevated part of town, she can look over the whole of the town. And basically she just said it's an abomination what's happened recently with these, making chemtrails okay in the UK. And I think they're investing something like 50 million pounds on chemtrails. That affects flora, fauna, us, animals. I don't know exactly what is in the chemtrails, but I know there's things like aluminium, barium, and it's all been proven. And so those of you who call us that have been talking about these for a long time conspiracy theorists, in inverted brackets, maybe you could rephrase that as conspiracy fact now that it's actually been announced by the government. And in contrast to this, in America, they are actually arresting pilots. They are actually taking action to stop this from happening. Geo-engineering. It is most definitely not a theory anymore. And there's no way that anybody could argue that it isn't. So, what are we going to do? They're putting up solar panels on farms. They're buying out the farms to put solar panels on. And now they are dimming out the sun. Now tell me, is that logical thinking? Is that logical to you? Swathes and swathes and, fields and fields of solar panels and dimming the sun. What part of that makes any sense? Anyhow, I'm pleased to see that someone had the foresight to start a government petition against this to make it illegal, and it should be, because we're actually being run by a kind of mafia. We're actually being run by criminals, and it's a criminal act what they're doing here. This is criminal. We're dealing with criminals. Anyway, the petition is 100, nearly, it's 85,000 now. I think people are quite outraged by this. And even those of us who knew this was happening, to actually see it in black and white, and for them to actually be stating that that is where they're putting the taxpayers' money. I think a lot of us have just really, enough is enough really, isn't it? So, you can write to your local MP. We here in Glastonbury are forming something called a Freedom Alliance, or a Freedom Group for Glastonbury. And what we're going to do is, each of us have got our things that we're not happy about. It could be dealings with the red brick building. It might be the WHS, which is what I've been looking at. Or it could be the chemtrail thing, whatever it is. And, we really do need to stand up. We need to chip away. And I think it's really important to write to our local MPs. It's really important to get involved at a grassroots level. I have mentioned that before. There's national politics, of course, that's very important. But we also need to make a stand locally where we live. And, all of this, we start joining the dots and we see that is this globalist agenda that's happening on so many levels, bringing in the digitalisation of ID, bringing it all in, all for our own benefit, they're saying. And, it all stems back to the UN, these sustainable development goals, and it's all about control. And there's also, the UN is also talking about, shaping the future. There are actually 42, 43 goals of shaping the future and how they think that things should be run. Anyway, quite a serious video this morning. But there are many ways to protest. It doesn't just have to be the traditional way. You know, we can protest by making videos. We can protest by coming together at gigs like we did in March. We had the most phenomenal gig here in Glastonbury. We can come together in silent vigils, in prayer. There are many, many ways to protest. And here in Glastonbury, we're forming this freedom group, and we will be doing some rallies, peaceful rallies. We will be making a stand. Myself, Sandy Adams, and various other people are talking about coming together. We formed a Facebook group, which is a start, and it will be happening. So watch this space. Hope you can do the same where you are. Lots of love. Take care.